Commercial real estate moves slowly.
It's so slow.
So much more than you think. I don't care what your goals are. It could be to buy your first house. It could be to acquire $10 million in real estate. Or it's just like, hey, I just need to get my business breaking even, or netting an extra 5 or 10K a month. We're here to help you with that, with where you're at. And so you can always chat with us. And if you feel we're the right people to work with you, you can start working with us one-on-one, meeting with us weekly. Welcome to the Profit Lifestyle for Fitness Entrepreneurs podcast. My name is Scott Carpenter. I am a personal trainer turned multiple gym owner and investor who's already been through the rock bottom and near bankruptcy in the fitness business. But I've been lucky enough to come out the other side and have turned the profits of my fitness business into indestructible wealth. I'll be sharing the no bullshit strategies, tactics, and advice to win big in business and in life. So if you're a gym owner, a personal trainer, or an online coach who wants to make multiple six figures in take-home profit and have the freedom with your time to actually enjoy it, subscribe now to this podcast. This is the show for you. All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Profit Lifestyle for Fitness Entrepreneurs. I'm Scott Carpenter. With me, as always, is Andy Boimila. We've got a high-level one for you today. We're going to talk about real estate and how that can affect your net worth by millions of dollars. And a lot of us have it in mind, like, hey, if we could buy the commercial real estate that our gym is in, we would love to do it. But it's pretty hard. Where do you even start? How do I get the capital? All that kind of stuff. So I'm going to break down how to buy your gym. And I'm actually going to analyze one of my gyms that I purchased the building of and share all the exact math, how I got the finance, how I found the deal, how I negotiated the deal, the exact math behind it. And really, spoiler alert, how I turned around $60,000 to $75,000 down into it, into already, I don't know, $300,000, $400,000 gain already. But we're going to be looking and, give me another 20 years, $2.5 million is what I'm going to turn that 60, 75 grand cash into because of this. It's phenomenal. And it's so important. And whether this is on your radar now or in the future, you need to know this, because you might be in a place where, like, oh, there's no way I could buy my building now. You never know down the future, and you'll never find the opportunity if you don't learn this first, so you can recognize an opportunity right in front of your face. So we're going to dive into all that. Before we do that, I wanted to give a quick shout out. You haven't heard this yet, Andy, but I got a text.
No.
I was just telling you about it. I'm like, we'll save it for the podcast. But I got a text this morning from a gym owner that we've been working with that have just gone through our high ticket launch program, right? How to bolt on high ticket onto your existing business. And he just got through our 8-week launch, brought in, I don't know what his final tally is, at least 15,800, but I know he had some outstanding stuff. So maybe north of 20 grand in new business in 2 months. But here's what he sent. And I'm not going to share who it is, because he also sent me the image of the house that he's going to put a contract in. He's like, don't share this because I don't know. I don't want people to know where I live. But here's what he sent today at 4:40 in the morning, my time anyways. Been busy working out the plans for the new house we just got approved for. Your program gave us the opportunity to purchase a home for our family of 6. Living in a townhome for the past 13 years was rough, especially when the twins were born. Now our family will have space to ourselves. The home has an indoor and outdoor space where my kids can play, separate rooms for my teenage girls, brand new appliances, and space for my wife's business. It's everything we've wanted. This is just the beginning for what's in store for us. Thanks, Scott. Doesn't that just mean the world? Like,
That's what this is all about, right? Like that's why we build our businesses. We build our businesses so that we can provide for our families. And that is just so heartwarming and like good news. So that's amazing.
yeah.
I'm so happy now. I was happy already. Now I'm really happy.
I know. I'm like, I can't wait to share this with you. It's just, man, when I get messages like that, it's just, holy shit,
Yeah.
That's why we do what we do. And that's why it makes it so worthwhile and so impactful. And it's not always easy, right?
No.
But
Nope.
man, is it worth it? And so thank you for sending that message, David. That's just made my freaking week. Like, I love it.
That's great.
But anyways, let's get back into the real estate stuff, because
But let's talk about real estate some more.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, hey, real estate came up this morning in the text. So rather than residential, let's talk commercial, right? And real
Hmm.
estate is one of the biggest providers of wealth. Like it's a long, if you take it as a long-term strategy, you earn money four different ways. You can earn money through cash flow, you earn money through appreciation, you earn money through amortization, which every time you pay down the mortgage, you get that much richer.
Yep.
And there's also tax benefits too, right? So you get to offset a lot of the income and against the depreciation of the property. So it saves a lot of money on taxes. You earn money four ways and it's leveraged. You know, I put 10% down into this deal, but I'm getting appreciation on an asset that's worth, 9 times that. That's the cool thing. That's the power of this math. So I'm going to walk you kind of through this. And really what happened was this is my first location. And the first location was it was 2,160 square feet. It was kind of a dumpy building in a dumpy retail corner. Bad landlords who didn't really care for it, all that kind of stuff. They lied constantly. One of the two brothers that owned it actually lived in the suite next to me. Highly illegal, okay?
Hmm.
But he was the dude who'd wake up at like 9:30, 10 a.m., walk outside shirtless with his gut hanging out, smoking a cigarette. And he would smoke.
That's what you want outside your gym.
That's what you want outside of your gym. And he would smoke inside the unit, which you could smell that musty smoke smell coming over into ours. And I'd call him out and he'd deny it, right? I'd been there to sign like lease renewals. And there's multiple piles of dog shit in there. It was disgusting. Anyways, I ended up calling the city. He got evicted from that because it's illegal. But these guys just lied all the time. They put in a direct competitor sharing a wall next to me.
Yeah, I think we talked about that on the previous podcast.
Yeah, yeah, which is wild. So, anyways, like I need to get out of there. And I had been looking and researching, really how to finance deals, all that kind of stuff, how to get something like this done. And I was actually putting an offer like 2 years in on a building. This is when I had that one guy that blew up two of my locations. My employee number one, who was just shady as hell. I found out way too late. And it was disastrous for me. He threatened to sue me at that point. So that's the number one thing. Like, you can't be under contract and get financing because you have to sign off that, hey, there's no pending litigation or anything like that. And I had to pass on it. But the good news is I learned this knowledge on financing, on what to do. I schooled myself in the commercial real estate game. And when an opportunity came up, I was able to hop on it. And so it was right across the street. So I'm on the northwest corner. This is on the southwest corner. It was a Circle K gas station. It only had like one pump. It was like an older one. So it had like one unit that had like two pumps on either side, right? It's just very small.
Hmm.
So it's mainly a convenience store, right? 2,511 square feet. This whole place has been gentrifying and improving. And Circle K wanted to put in one of their massive gas stations and stuff like that 2 or 3 blocks south of us. So what they do is they dump the old real estate for under market value, just get rid of it really quickly. Typically, it's on the market for just a day, or maybe even stuff is arranged before that, and legally they just list it on LoopNet. So LoopNet is kind of like the Zillow for real estate, for those of you who don't know. You can see properties to buy, to sell. Even if you're not in the market now, it's really good so you understand the market. Even if you're just negotiating or renegotiating a lease or renewal or looking to move to another place, you need to know what's going on in the market because you can negotiate in your favor if you know what's going on. And so anyways, I was looking on there. There's that place right across the street popped up for sale. It was for $350,000, $350,000, pretty cheap, right? So I'm like, holy cow.
Hmm.
And so I called on it right away. They're like, oh, it's sold. I'm like, oh, it was just listed like a week ago, And so I'm like, crap. But here's the thing. Like, it doesn't mean the person who bought it doesn't want to sell it, right? So I looked up in the county records. I went to Maricopa County parcel records. And I used the map. I found the property. I got the parcel number. Then I hit it in the search thing. And I can see who owns it. And I could track them down. And so I did that and I gave them a call because this is perfect. 2,500 square feet, like right across the street. Are you kidding me? And that's the thing with commercial real estate. It doesn't come up for sale very often.
No, and especially like in my town, like commercial real estate never comes up for sale. So
Yeah.
like Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's super awesome that you jumped on it, and I love the fact that right, like talking about this, you're like, oh, it's for sale, but you know what? I tracked it down. For those of you that don't know, any sale of any property is public record, meaning that you can go on to an assessor's website for your town or county and look up all information on that property. When it was sold, who bought it, how much for, who currently owns it,
Yep.
rough square footage, even the appraisal value, which comes into play when we start talking about commercial real estate and triple net leases. But yeah, that's super awesome that you did that, Scott. I do that all the time when I'm
Hmm.
looking at properties. The amount of information is just wild, but that's so
Yeah.
cool that you went and did that, even though it was already for it already sold.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like off market deals, this is an off market deal. Off market
Yeah,
deals are much more relevant in commercial real estate. There's way fewer places for sale. Just because it's not for sale doesn't mean somebody doesn't want to sell it.
right.
Right. So if you're in the market, you got to be active. It's not like just, I'm going to look on Zillow or I'm going to have a realtor just send me some over. No, no, no. You might need to make an offer. Just find it, call somebody up and make an offer. You would be
Yep.
surprised, guys. So off market deals are a big thing. You've got to be driving around, scoping things out, looking things up. So I call him up, and he's a buy and hold guy. It's him, his brothers, and his dad, and they buy commercial real estate. They buy and hold it long term. So I'm like, and he's like, so it's not for sale. I'm like, hey, that's kind of cool. I'm a long term kind of, when it comes to real estate, I have a long term vision as well. So I love it. Um, that being said, what if you could flip this property, make a whole ton of cash, so you roll it into your next and bigger property? And that makes sense, right? It's If you can just flip this really quick, get a lot more, well, you can buy the next bigger property, right? And so, anyways, he's like, yeah, no, that makes sense, but like it would have to be a good amount. And at the end of the day, I did the math ahead of time and I did the research ahead of time. So I knew I could give him way more than he bought it for, and it would be a smoking deal for me, which I will go through the numbers on it. So I said, how about 450? You just, you buy this thing, you make a quick 100 grand,
Yeah,
right? And he's like, yeah, I would do that. And
right. I mean, that seems like a no brainer on like from on my end. If I had bought a property and someone comes to me 2, 3, even 4 weeks later and says, "Hey, sell to me, and you'll make a cool 100K off for doing nothing."
for
Yeah,
doing
absolutely.
nothing. Yeah. So and some of you might be like, you asked 100 grand over. Why do you start? I'm like, I just need to get this deal done. And it doesn't matter. Like when I show you the short term and the long term math on that, you'd be like, oh, yeah, no wonder. If some of you are like, why would you offer that much more? I'm like, I just need to get this asset. Meanwhile, remember, I get crappy landlord too that accelerated things. But so, anyways, I offered 450, said yes. I got then starts the due diligence period, which is long. Commercial real estate moves slowly,
Uh, it's so slow.
so much more than you think. And that played in my favor though, because I think I had another year or two at this point on my lease, which you don't want to have a mortgage and a lease. So I was able
No,
to really delay the closing, and some of it was just naturally. And then I was able to delay the build out, and it aligned perfectly. It was smooth, man. But I offered 450. It appraised at 470 as is. So I'm
well, that's good.
still getting it beneath market value, which is
Yep.
fantastic. The build out estimate was $140,000 after I started talking to a couple different contractors. And the appraisal value when it's complete was 610. Okay. So that was the general math on it. So
Okay. General math checks out.
general math checks out. So I got SBA 504 financing on this.
Yep.
Okay. Now, SBA 504 is usually your best route for commercial real estate. Okay. It's a pain in the ass. You got to jump through a billion different hoops.
Yep.
It's not fun. There's incredible amounts of paperwork. That being said, it can be worth it because as opposed to traditional real estate financing, you're typically putting down at least 20%.
Yep. At least
Maybe
20%.
at least 20%, maybe 30%. Okay.
Right.
Into that. And then the cool thing with SBA 504 is like you can roll purchase of it and all the build out and the improvements into one loan and only put down 10%. So of the total project cost. Okay.
Right.
So we budgeted around $61,000 or $610,000 for the total purchase and build out. Okay. 10% on my end is $61,000. Okay. If you don't have $61,000 now, guys, there's ways that you can get it. There's clever things. Dude, do what David did. And in 8 weeks, we'll teach you how to do a high ticket launch. You'll have that inside of a few months if you execute it how he executed it. But at the end of the day, like 10%, that's not as much money as you think it is. And some of you already have it ready to go. But you can get that. There's ways to get that. You can also do it with investors who put up the cash, but you also co-own it. There's a lot of clever ways to go about this. But point is, $610,000 total project. I had to bring $61K down. And then SBA financing actually involves two banks. One is where the SBA guarantees part of it. They guarantee the 40% of it. And then there's another commercial bank that'll do 50%. Okay. Here are the interest rates that I got. The great thing about the SBA 504 is that it artificially reduces market interest rates. So this loan is a 25-year loan on 40% of it that the SBA held. The interest rate is at 1.675%. Yeah, that's insane. That's, you can get 2.5 times that if you just throw it in a high yield savings account.
Yeah,
the high yield savings account, right? It's nuts. And then so the other 50% is held by another bank that was at 5.99%.
I mean, even that's not bad, especially nowadays.
That's not bad at all. I mean, let's not forget that interest rate is tax deductible too. So 5.99, 6% is actually really only 4.5 or something like that, depending on tax brackets and all that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
So phenomenal. And that was the financing that I got on it. Now, there are some things that you don't anticipate in commercial real estate. And that's why talk to somebody who's been through this, because there's some things that can really derail projects.
I'm laughing over on my side, Scott, because people don't anticipate this, right? But construction will always take longer and be more expensive than you think. Always. Every time, without fail.
100% of 120% of the time, that's true.
Yeah.
It's just math. It will be. And, for instance, we almost had like $160,000 extra in expenses. And that will derail a project. And it's because this is where you got to be careful. We talked about this last time when we talked about commercial real estate and negotiating leases. But you got to be careful because they don't like gyms. Gyms, they're just not friendly with state and city and municipality codes. So we're going to change usage from a convenience store to a gym is what they wanted to put me under, which has capacity. They have larger capacity things, which means now that with laws that were passed a couple decades ago, they want me to get sprinklers in there. In a building made of bricks, concrete bricks, with rubber flooring housing iron. Nothing burns in this effing building, and they want that. Now, that's expensive in and of itself, but herein lies the problem that you'll never figure out. Well, turns out, whatever sewer water connection that comes in from the sidewalk or the corner of the street would need to be upgraded from there to the building. And all in all, it would be like $160,000 to get this thing.
Not only that, but it would. Now you're talking about digging up the street to get to the water line, and now that requires municipalities, and you're talking extending construction deadlines by months.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And this is the stuff that can go wrong. So, general rule of thumb, we talked on it last episode too. Do not be a gym. You provide. Do not be classified as that. You will get raked over the coals with stuff. And so, because the architect and the engineer said there's no way around it, we have to do this. I'm like, well, that's going to blow everything, right? Because it affects appraisal. Then I can't get the loan for more, so that's cash out of pocket. So we'll just kill the deal, right? Everything. So anyways, there are ways. Just don't be a gym, right? And we talked about, how we're personal services, this and that. And they're classifying you under the large amusement / recreation facility. like a health club and stuff like that. Do
Right.
not be that. Okay. We changed that. All that went away. Oh, turns out we don't have to shell out 160 grand and go through the bullshit. So these are tricks, guys. Other like things that can really get you. Be careful with dry cleaning, even if it's not in your unit. If you're buying a unit that has it, like environmental impacts can be like massive, and it's on you. So, anyways, getting through that. So that's how it went down. Some things we weren't able to roll in, like exterior signage, getting it moved or created for it. There's some things that exist outside of it sometimes. There are going to be unexpected expenses. But here's the math on how it went down. And by the way, SBA, talk about construction is going to take longer and all that. So is SBA financing. They promised me by a certain amount, I had to extend it, the offer to close. Then I needed more time because they will bullshit you until the sun comes down. So I actually had to give them more earnest money down. And then I actually had to say, hey, if I don't close, I forfeit it. Because he started to get pissed by the second time. We're talking months and months and months out. So we even got a bridge loan because it took another 2 months from the SBA said it would be done. I didn't get good feelings. I'm like, hey, listen, I'm not getting good feelings. I think these people are bullshit. Like, I don't trust these guys. So I went to that bank. I'm like, let's get a bridge. What can we do? He's like, we can do a bridge loan in case it takes longer so you can still close on time. Great, let's do it. Thank God we did it, because I would have lost the deal. I would have lost the earnest money. It took another 2 months for the SBA to finish their portion. So just word of warning with an SBA loan. Commercial lending, seller financing, it's a lot faster. But the flip side is that SBA loan, shoot, it's pretty good. So here's the math on this breakdown. The 40% that the SBA holds, I'm paying $1,279 a month. Okay. The other 50%, the other bank holds, I'm paying $1,963 a month. Okay. Taxes are about $367 a month. Insurance is about $298 a month. All in, I'm paying $3,907 a month. Okay. $3,907 a month. So under 4K.
Yep.
So when I bought the building across the street, I got a good 300 more square feet almost. Brand new build out as opposed to a total crappy building. Crappy. Mm-hmm. The bathrooms were awful. My rent was $4,633. And it was coming up for renewal.
So you bought a building and paying less in monthly payments.
Yes. Yes. So if I renewed, it likely would have been right at around 5K with 3% annual increases on the lease. As opposed to me owning it, I'm $3,900 a month. Right?
Right.
And I've got stable long-term costs. They're not going to increase by 3% a year. My mortgage is not going to do that. Right? I get appreciation. I get amortization. I get tons of tax benefits because I can charge my business whatever I want on rent in excess and shelter all that from taxes. I have control. I have stability. It's such a no-brainer. Cash flow, yeah, I'm saving $1,000 a month right off the bat, and it's going to just increase over time. Now,
yep.
Take a look at these numbers. So cash flow, I did that based on not what I'm saving as opposed to the rent, but that's a better way to look at it. But I did it like, hey, what am I charging myself in rent versus what is actually cost? So, I get cash flow, appreciation. Let's just say it's 3% a year. Amortization. Every time I pay those two mortgages, I get richer, right?
Right.
So let's just take a look at that. So all in all, if you add up those different ways, I'm making around $55,000 a year added to my net worth just by owning the building, which is crazy.
There you go.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Let's fast forward another 20, 25 years when these mortgages are paid off. That's where it gets really crazy. So let's say maybe I sell the business and I stay a landlord. I keep the building, stay a landlord, whatever. Let's just say I'm charging market rates, 20, 25 years from now with 3% increases, all that kind of stuff. That will be cash flowing me $8,777 a month, and I'll have no mortgage. Not bad, right? That's
Not
what
bad
I'll net. So it'll make me over $100,000 a year. And at 3% increases, it's going to be worth just shy of $2.1 million.
There you go.
And remember, I'm only putting around $61K in there. Again, some stuff was not included, so higher, maybe $70K, all something like that. But you can't You can't really do better than that, guys. You can't do better than that. And it's worth learning these skills. That's a lot of what we teach, Andy.
Yeah.
When we talk about, our goal is for you guys to create your dream business. And that dream business is so that it can provide the life for you and your family that you want. An abundance of money, financially, success, right? As well as having the freedom with your time so that you can live the lifestyle that you want. And what we also teach is not just how to make that business very profitable and how to pay less to the IRS, but like how to take the profits of your business and start to turn it into indestructible wealth, into passive income, so that you don't have to worry about retirement, so that you can freely spend money and take all the vacations. Shoot, Andy, you've been taking vacations. You're on one right now.
I am on vacation right now. For those of you that are just listening and not looking at the video of this, I'm literally at a beach house down in Cape Cod, and I will be here this is the end of week 1. I will be here for a whole nother week. So I'm literally on vacation. This is now my 3rd, 4th trip this year. So like, yeah. And everything that Scott's saying, where we teach people and gym owners on how to create the profits and then turn those profits into indestructible wealth. Scott gave an example today of how to do it with commercial real estate. There are other ways to do it as well, right? Like for myself, I've done it with residential real estate, where I own a couple different units and we make about $10,000 in rent every single month. And when my mortgages are paid off in 30 years, that's $10,000 a month that I'll just get, and it goes right to me.
Yeah.
So, right, like real estate is one of those plays that, if done properly, and there are a bunch of different ways you can do it, it is one of the most probably beneficial ways to make passive income and create wealth for yourself in the long term. It's real estate always appreciates because there's only a certain amount of it. We can't get any more of it. There is what there is. And so it only becomes more valuable day after day. It's one of my favorite ways to do it anyway. To me, it's always a no-brainer.
Absolutely. There's another commercial building. We won't get into the nitty-gritty on it, but within a business acquisition I did, right, where we're making swords of all things. We can do another show on that later. It's crazy. But yeah, we bought a 10,000 square foot building. We moved into it. High level math, we did seller financing on it for 2 years. So we gave them $100,000. We moved right in. We're refinancing it right now as we speak. It's going to drop and we just did it at 6% on a 15-year loan. And we're getting it refinanced into a 30-year loan. So our payments go from 9,000 something down to 6,000 something. It's already appraised for $250,000 to $300,000 more than we bought it, like just over a year and a half ago.
Nice.
It's, and you look at that long term, it's just nuts what it can do. And then it allows us to expand our production, which we desperately needed on the square footage. So you can do so well. I don't care if it's long-term, short-term, commercial. Between us, we do all of those.
Yep.
And that's the goal, man. It's like make a really profitable business that still allows you to take an amazing amount of vacations like you and I do.
Yep.
And then take the profits and create passive income. It's not rocket science, but there's a lot to learn. And that's our job, right? Just like David. And, sometimes the first step is buying your family's home and putting down roots. That's super important, right? Some of you need some work in your business to be able to get that done. You need the knowledge on what to do with your credit and how to get in position to make that happen. So that's what we're here for, guys. I hope this challenged quite a few of you to think bigger. And if you want any help with this, if you need any help with this, chat with us, right? Just chat with us. You can hop on a call with us, and we work with people. I don't care what your goals are. It could be to buy your first house. It could be to acquire $10 million in real estate. Or it's just like, hey, I just need to get my business breaking even, or netting an extra 5 or 10K a month. We're here to help you with that, with where you're at. And so you can always chat with us. And if you feel we're the right people to work with you, great. You can start working with us one-on-one, meeting with us weekly. So that's all I got for you today. Anything else to add, Andy?
No, I think that's about it. Again, if you guys are interested in this kind of stuff, if you want to talk about real estate, you want to talk about deals or whatever, let us know. If you've got a deal that you've had your eye on and you're like, I don't know if the numbers work, reach out to us. I'm happy to analyze any deal, whether it's commercial or residential. I just analyzed a commercial deal the other day and end up the numbers didn't work, but we analyzed it. So yeah, if you guys ever want help with analyzing real estate deals, let us know. If you want to just figure out the next steps in your business to move it forward so you can start making a little bit more profit, let us know. Just reach out. Happy to hop on a call and help however I can.
Excellent. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week on the podcast. Listen, if you're stuck and could use some advice in your business, whether you're just starting out, a veteran in the business, or expanding online or into multiple locations, you can hop on a free call with us to pick our brains at ptlegends.com/one-on-one call. You can see that in the show notes. That is with numbers. Chances are we'll be able to help you get some clarity on what you need to do specifically in your business to get to the next level. It's not a sales call. We'll connect you with the right resources to help you solve your problems. But if you want to learn more about working with us, that's cool too. We can share that information should you want it. So book your call now to get out of the rat race before your week consumes you, which is easy to do at ptlegends.com/one-on-one call. That's with the number 1 on the number 1 call. You can find this in the show notes. See you soon.